Welcome back to Live with, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our 2018 NPC USA Men's Physique Overall Champion, Carter Montgomery. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we wanted to get you here. We wanted to get a little acknowledgement. We weren't at the show, but we certainly believe that all our overall champions deserve a little bit of publicity after they win. Now, you're interesting because you're only 22 years old. You know, you started working out at a very young age of 15. You've had some very early success, obviously, in the men's physique division. What got you into the whole, were you a sports guy in high school? What got you into the whole bodybuilding world?
Yeah, so my father actually passed away at a young age, so my mother had to work full time, so she immediately kind of put me and my brother into sports. So I wrestled all throughout high school, and that's what kind of gave me that discipline and that motivation to start focusing on lifting weights and stuff like that. Kind of got sick of wrestling, and at 15 is when I started hitting the weight room, and it's kind of where it all began.
Events in our life sometimes can change the course of our history, I lost my mom when I was pretty young too in junior high school, and sometimes that could be the little push you needed to push you in the direction that you're going right now. Did you know you had talent right off the bat? Were people telling you that, hey, this is something that you're good at, or were people like kind of dismissing you and you kind of knew internally that you can do this?
So, I originally started working out just because I was an angry kid and it was a good place to kind of let all that out at.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like 2 years into it where I actually kind of started putting on some size and stuff that everyone was like, hey man, you should really, really compete. You look amazing. And that's when I kind of dove into men's physique, and I fit in the category really well, so it worked out.
What did you weigh at 15 years of age?
15, I was like 110, 115 pounds.
And what did you weigh on stage at the USA this year?
USA I was pretty light, but I was like 185. But a couple weeks before that, I was 215. So basically a 100-pound difference between then and now.
Yeah, that's quite a difference for certain. When people see you from high school friends and stuff like that, are they amazed at the transformation?
Oh, absolutely. They barely recognize me anymore, so it's always kind of nice seeing people.
That's great. That's great. Now, it's funny when you first did your first couple shows in 16, you didn't do very well. You came in out of the top 15. That had to be a huge, wake-up call for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially coming right before that is when I won the overall at a local show here in San Diego. So going into that to the national level kind of definitely gave me a smack in the face. But it was nice, though, because it gave me the motivation to spend that next year and do what I needed to do to make sure I had an impressive physique that following year.
When you come in 16th place, where do you start? Like, where do you regroup? Did you talk to judges? Who did you talk to? And what did you feel you needed to work on? Did you need more size, more conditioning? Because that's a huge jump to go from, I believe you were 16th in 2016. You did nationals, I believe, in 2017. You were in the top 6,
Yeah, exactly. So feedback from the judges was definitely what I took, and I kind of knew already what they were going to say, and it was size, So then we basically spent the next year just growing, and it definitely paid off. I had a very dominant performance in Miami, but unfortunately my posing wasn't up to par. But hey, that was lit another fire under my ass to make sure I brought it all to USA's.
Now, obviously with the advent of the classic physique division, which allows posing and stuff like that, is that something that appeals to you, or do you just prefer men's physique? And if you do, what is it about physique that you really like?
So the reason I kind of got into men's physique now is obviously we all fall in love with bodybuilding and posing. We get more time up there, which is definitely more enjoyable, and that's what I'm looking for. But I feel like being in men's physique, I'm definitely more marketable. Not only the fitness industry, I can kind of go anywhere with it. So I want to kind of stay with that as long as I can. I know I'm young, and I'm planning on keep growing. So I definitely see myself crossing over into the classic physique division in a couple of years, hopefully.
Yeah, you're lucky when you have youth at your side. You can kind of take your time and just kind of decide what you want to do. Now, would you go and compete as a men's physique pro next year? Is that something that's on the agenda for you, or are you kind of just going to take your time and feel where you're going to go from this point on?
No, so I actually have my pro debut in 5 weeks in Long Beach.
Oh wow, you're not wasting any time, huh?
Yeah, no, we're doing about 5 shows by the end of the year. Hopefully, rack up enough points.
Wow, that's a pretty ambitious contest thing. How are you still going? Aren't you burnt?
So USA's I actually wasn't going to do. I was going to do Miami, and my coach convinced me 6 weeks out from USA's to do it. So it was a very, very short prep. So I'm still, fully energized, ready to go, and want to kind of make a name for myself. Too many people turn pro and then don't step on stage for a year later. I'm ready. I'm here. So I'm ready to give it my all.
Back in terms of like, hey, I just won the USA. Am I ready for this?
Yeah, so I spoke to Steve and Sandy both. Both of them basically said the same thing, and it's upper chest density. So really just try to bring that upper chest. But they both believe that I'll definitely be able to hold my own on the pro league. So they gave me the go for it. So we're doing it.
And obviously it's always hard to compete, especially as a young guy. I know you work a 9-to-5 job at the bank. You don't have sponsors when you're first starting out. What are the financial challenges, I should say, and how does that affect your ability to be the best you can be on stage?
Supporting myself, working a 9 to 5, competing is very expensive, especially when you're not at the pro level because you're still paying for your classes, your NPC card, all that stuff. So it's been tough. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, certain supplements I want to take,
Right.
stuff I want to do that I just can't because it doesn't fit into the budget, but
Yeah.
it also kind of shows you to go back to your roots, and sometimes, less is more, and it worked out. You make the best with what you got.
No, that's absolutely. And people think because you turn pro that it's cheaper. It's really not, because you still got to fly yourself to shows, hotel, food, tanning. It adds up. Taxi rides or whatever, Uber rides. It's not a cheap thing to go to a show, and that's why when I see guys doing 2, 3, 4 shows, that adds up, that expense, to quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. But it's one of those things that I'm young. I feel like I can definitely make a name for myself, and I'm really living my dream right now. I've always wanted to compete on the pro scene, and I have that opportunity, so I'm going to run with it.
Well, look, I can't wish you enough luck up on that stage. Hopefully you will get that Olympia qualification for 2019. But in the meantime, enjoy the USA Championship overall title. It only happens once, and there's only so many of these guys, so you'll go into the history books as another one of the great USA overall champs.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Carter Montgomery, and I'm Dave Palumbo, and we're out of time. Until next time. This is called delirium. So many interviews one day that you don't even know what show you're doing anymore. We'll tell you this. This is Live With, sponsored by Species News. We'll see you next time.